Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us to today's presentation, Digital Footprint 101, Why Small Businesses Can't Afford to Be Invisible. This presentation will be recorded. If you have any questions, please add those to the chat. Your videos and microphones will be muted. So once again, please add any questions and comments to the chat. Without anything further, I would like to introduce Michelle Howard, the Director of the Small Business Programs Office at the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Greetings, everyone. How y'all doing today? I hope you're ready for some good information. I want to bring greetings to you from our General Manager, Mr. Randy Clark, and our VP and Chief Procurement Officer, Ms. Fifi Magosi. Thank you for participating today. We are looking forward to you getting some great information. Today, you will be hearing from Ms. Nakia Hunter, Digital Footprint 101, Why Small Businesses Can't Afford to Be Invisible. Great information. At WMATA, your participation is key, and we do encourage you, all small businesses, to get certified with WMATA. We have some small business programs that you can be certified in, so please check out our website and learn more about the programs. We are definitely open for business, and we want you to be part of our contracting opportunities. We are your metro, the way forward. As Michael said, please put all questions in the chat, and remember to fill out our surveys that will be sent to you after the presentation. These surveys help us to plan programs, events that can help benefit or support your business development and its growth. So please make sure you fill that out and get the survey back to us as soon as you can. Right now, I would like to introduce to you Ms. Nakia Hunter. She is an accomplished technology professional with over 22 years of experience in the IT industry. Her technical proficiency spans web development, application programming, CRM implementation, database management, SEO, and social media marketing. This comprehensive skill set enables her to deliver end-to-end digital solutions, from creating scalable applications for the multinational corporations to developing strategic marketing campaigns that drive measurable results for her clients. Nakia's foundation in technology began early. She was raised in a family that prioritized education and perseverance. She pursued a degree in information systems management and has since earned numerous certifications across her area of specialization. Her dedication to continuous learning keeps her at the forefront of an ever evolving industry. I'm so excited we finally got Nakia on board with us today, and I would love for her to come on and spread some joy about all this knowledge that we need to do in keeping our companies marketable.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is doing good on this Tuesday. Today, we will actually be going over and uncovering digital presence and how it impacts the success of your business. I want you guys today to think of the business journey as building a house. When you build your business, it's just like building a house, the foundation. When we talk about your digital footprint, the digital footprint is now your digital foundation of your business. I I want you guys to also think about when you were younger, when I don't know anybody's age, but when we were younger, how we used to have the yellow pages. We also used to have the white pages. So when you look for a business, you used to pick out that yellow book or that white book and find a business. So nowadays, in the new millennium days, we are now in a world of digital. Our digital assets are Google, Yahoo, Safari, Bing, and a couple other ones like Firefox. So what I will say today, we're going to actually go over a couple things. We're going to talk about psychology, how your digital presence works into psychology of the mental space of your audience or your customer or your consumer who you're trying to sell your product to or your service to. And we're also going to play a little game. I want to, like an icebreaker. We're going to start off with that. And as Michelle said, you're going to put your answers in the chat and I'll be able to see them right here in the chat. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and we're going to talk about the game first. And just give a thumbs up if everybody can see my screen. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat. I just want to make sure everybody can see the screen. Okay, good, great. Thank you. All right, so we're going to start off with a game. So this game is Color Reference Guide. This is like a little icebreaker before we get into the presentation. This game talks about psychology of how color works in a digital workspace. And I don't expect everybody to have the right answer. You guys could just put an answer in the chat and that way I will be able to see. So the first question of the game is which color, and just off the top of your head, if you can think of it, which color is most associated with trust, security, and professionalism in web design? When you think of this color, just think about all the businesses that you see, banks, hospitals, healthcare. Think about that color and let me know what you came up with the color. See. Absolutely blue. All right, let's go to the next one. So question 2, call to action. Call to action in a digital realm is when you want them to react to something that you want them to get from you. So which color creates the strongest sense of urgency and is the best for buy now buttons? Okay. Whoever put red in the chat, you're absolutely correct. Red is an urgency type of color. When people look at red on a website or I'll use Macy's. When people see red, Macy's, Coca-Cola, I don't know, the color red psychologically is impulsive for us to just buy, buy, buy. So yes, red is definitely the color. And the next question is brand psychology. Which color represents growth, health, and environmental responsibilities? Green, absolutely. Absolutely. You guys are doing good. I actually played this game in person yesterday, and it was funny. Some of the questions, some of the answers we got. So the next one is user, excuse me, user experience. Which color is most effective for highlighting warnings or caution messages? Well, caution, it would not be, it would be yellow. Yep, yellow. And sometimes red. It depends on what the person that built the website or trying to get the message across. Okay. Now we're going to think about brand psychology. What colors convey creativity, luxury, and imagination? Mhm. This is a tricky question because depending on what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to convey digitally, it could actually be a lot of these colors. It could be purple, it could be yellow, it could be orange. And orange is the energy color. We'll talk about that a little bit. Let me go to the next question. Which color is proven to increase an appetite and an impulse to purchase? Do anybody have an idea what color would impulse you to buy something? Red, yes. White. We have white, we have red, we have purple. Somebody said brown. Okay, we're gonna see. Which color represents elegance, sophistication, and premium quality? Hmm. Whoever said black, black is definitely a strong on digital presidents. Black is a power statement color. Gold is as well. Now we have which color is best for creating feelings of cleanliness and simplicity? Yep, white. When you're looking for modern and clean lines, a lot of people use white. Which color is most effective for targeting female audience in the beauty and fashion industry? Pink. Whoever said pink is definitely on the bingo. Pink is definitely for women in the fashion industry. All right. Which color creates the highest contrast on white backgrounds for CTAs? CTAs again is call to action. Red again. I'm black if it's up against something, but I'll show you some real world examples, so we'll go over that as well. Which color is associated with friendliness and optimistic in social media? Yellow and orange are definitely one of the colors. Orange shows energy. When you use orange on social media, it's the energy color. A lot of people gravitate to energy. Now, user experience. Which color should success message and confirmation use? This should pretty be easy because if you look at your bank statement, uh, when you're negative, you're red. When you're good, you're in green. So that's the colors. So let's just take a look at the answer key. And you guys can go back and look at in the chat leader. So colors that are associated with trust, security, and professionalism in web design. Blue. The reason why blue is the number one choice is because banks, tech companies, corporate sites, they show, they present that you can trust them. Banks want you to put their money in there, so they use blue. And brand examples, again, they put right here, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, PayPal, IBM. And we can think of like Bank of America. Let me think of some blue color banks. Truist is purple. Used to be Nations Bank. I'm just trying to think of some banks. Then we have call to action. The reason why red is the number one trigger is because it's urgency and it's exciting. It gets people heart rates up and it makes people think psychology that they need to buy something like right now because guess what? The sale won't end. If the sale ends in the next hour or two, I need to hit that button because guess what? If I go back 5 minutes later, the sale is gone. And I think we all can agree with that this day and age right now. Being as though it's the holiday season, we coming up on Black Friday, people got to buy Christmas gifts, Christmas presents, that the urgency right now when you go on websites, everybody is propositioning you with a sale, Black Friday sale, 60% off. So click that button. And the colors red is usually used. You got Netflix, you got YouTube, you got Target, you got Pinterest. And when we talk about brand psychology, which color represents your growth, your health, and your environmental responsibility, we talk about green. Green is a symbolize of nature, wellness, and sustainability. So a lot of healthcare companies, a lot of eco-friendly companies, and financial growth use green. We have Whole Foods, we got Spotify, we have Android, and we have Starbucks. Those are just examples of companies that use the color green. Now we have the user experience. Which colors highlight warnings or cautions? And as we stated, a lot of you said in the chat, yellow. Yellow grabs the attention without alarming of a red color. It recognizes it as cautions, just like when we're driving. The yellow light is like a warning sign. And these are brands that use it. You have warning signs, you have Snapchat, you have McDonald's who have the golden arches, and you have IKEA actually who uses the color yellow. Then you have a color that conveys creativity, luxury, and imagination. Purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, but purple is a royal strong color. And purple is like combined of blue and red, which the energy level, which is associated with royalty. So brands that use the color purple are Twitch, Cadbury, Yahoo, Hallmark. Hallmark been around for years. They've always had, when you think of Hallmark, you do think of royalty when you see their colors in their cards. Question 6. Which color is proven to increase appetite and impulse purchases? I struggle with this one because I like to shop. Orange combines red urgency with yellow friendliness. It's energetic, it's enthusiastic, and it triggers impulse buying behavior. I don't know how many of you in here that likes to shop a lot and who buys a lot of stuff, but let me just check the chat real quick. Okay. I'm just going to periodically go back and forth to the chat. So let's talk about which color represents elegance, sophistications, and premium quality. We talk about black. Black is really a powerful color and it's a statement color. And it's timeless. So a lot of high-end brands use it as appealing to be sophisticated and premium. Which color is best for creating a feeling of cleanliness and simplicity? Of course, it's white. White is something that everybody uses to draw like a modern line, to separate things, to show space, show clarity. Target audience. Which color is effective for triggering female audience in the beauty and fashion industry? It's pink. And everybody who said pink was correct. Pink is romance, playfulness, femininity. It widely used in the beauty, fashion, and product marketing for women. So if any of you guys are on here who are in that type of industry and you don't use pink in any of your digital footprint, I would advise you to reevaluate using pink. You have Victoria's Secret, you have Barbie, you have T-Mobile, Cosmopolitan. Which color creates the highest contrast on white backgrounds for call to actions? Orange. Orange stands out drastically on white backgrounds. It's not overused like the color red, like the color blue. Study shows that orange call to actions can increase conversion rates significantly. We have Amazon, who uses the color orange. We have Etsy, we have HubSpot, and we have Penguin Books. Those are just examples. Then we have which color is associated with friendliness and optimistic in social media. Whoever chose the color yellow is absolutely correct. Yellow shows warmth, happiness, and positivity. It grabs the attention and it creates a welcome and cheerful atmosphere. And you have, of course, Snapchat, McDonald's, Best Buy, and National Geographic, who uses the color yellow. And last but not least, user experience. Which color should success messages and confirmation use? Green. You will always use green when it's success. When you have a money transaction online, of course, it's going to be green because the transaction went through. If the transaction doesn't go through, then of course, you're going to have it in red. And those are successful indicators. You have WhatsApp that uses green, you have Spotify, and you have Android. So before we go into the presentation, I'm gonna check the chat. If anybody have, you could put any questions there. We'll have it till the end about psychologies and colors. So let me go to our presentation. All right, so today we're going to be talking about why small business, you cannot afford to be invisible. You cannot afford to be invisible because banks, and I'm being honest, financial institutions are looking for you online. Let's say you go in for a small business loan or you are trying to get a trade line, a business trade line. If they cannot validate you online to show that you are a legitimate business, I will say 95% will get turned down. And a lot of people say, "Well, why did I get turned down or what happened?" Because they're not if I'm going to take the risk to loan you money or give you a line of credit for your business, I need to be able to know that I can reach out and find you or touch you. So I always tell a lot of my clients that if one, let's start off with Google, if they cannot find you online and vet your business, and I will also say this for you guys, Google is now doing a 3-step verification process now due to COVID 2020 and all the things that went on with the EDL loans. They are now requiring some people to actually take video footage of the outside of their business to validate that that's where your business is actually located. And that's because of so much fraud that went around during that time. So Google is now being liable for allowing people to just get online and not really verifying that that's their location. So now you may get, when you set up your Google profile, your My Business, they may ask you to upload some business documentation, or they may ask you to go take a video outside of the location and upload it. So that's just a tip for you guys. You can take notes, write it down, but that's something that Google is definitely doing moving forward. So I definitely want to welcome you to the session. And I hope today that you guys take something away from this session. My goal is always to share the knowledge, not keep it to myself. Can't take it with me. If I can help somebody, help even one person, I'm happy. So today we're going to definitely talk about how you're visible, how being visible in your business helps you thrive in the competitive online market today. So we're going to cover today, we're going to cover digital and the visibility. We're also going to cover why it matters. We're going to cover what is a digital footprint. We're going to cover essential digital tools. We're going to talk about getting started step by step. I have a checklist that if you guys give us your email before the end of this webinar, I will personally email you the checklist to you guys. I will display it as well. You can write it down. We're going to also talk about cost breakdown. We're going to talk about your growth roadmap and common mistakes, and then we'll talk about Q&A and next steps. So right now we're going to talk about, in this digital age, having an online presence is not just beneficial, it is crucial to your business survival. We'll explore this and how it affects your business today. What is a digital footprint? As I stated, it's your lifeline, it's your foundation. So if I cannot prove who you say you are, then how do I even know you're in business? In this day and age, you have to have, as they say, you gotta have some money backing you. And I guess it's because you gotta, like reviews, we'll talk about Google reviews. I need to know that if I give you my money, or better yet, if I go on your website or your social media platform and I give you my information, is it safe? Am I trusting the person on the other side of this platform that I could trust even doing business with them? So it really impacts on the foundation of how you build your digital footprint. And why does it matter? Because it attracts and retains your customers. That's why it matters. I had someone ask me yesterday. I was at a conference at the Marriott Waterfront, and one of the young ladies, younger generation, asked me, well, isn't websites obsolete? Very good question that she asked. No, it's not obsolete. A lot of younger generations believes that social media is the way to go. They believe social media is be all end all. And I explained to her, if for her nonprofit, because she had a nonprofit, a donor will not give you their money on social media. And the reason being is there is too many hacks. We all know on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, people take over your accounts. They make duplicate accounts and ask for money from people. So I explained to her the disadvantage of her not having a website opposed to just having a social media platform is you're asking people to donate money. How, if I click that donate button or whatever you put on your social media, how do I trust the security and nowadays cybersecurity of me putting my personal information, whether it's a credit card, bank account information, to donate money to you? I said the likelihood of them doing that, like I said, is 95%. They're not going to do it. If you had a website which said donate, and in your case, services or sign up for a consultation and it then leads them to a payment process. You have, as a business owner, you control the narrative because your website is based off of your developer or even yourself if you're doing it yourself. You want to make sure that you are putting security protocols on the back end of the website to make sure that when people are coming to your website, putting information in your website, that their information will not be hacked or stolen because they went to your website. So we could talk about that all day, but I just wanted to understand the urgency of why you have to still have a website. And nobody says that you have to have 20 pages of a website. Let me just be clear. You could just have one page, and I'm going to explain that to you, and I will show you guys what a one-page website looks like in this presentation. So I'm going to introduce you to digital tools that can help you enhance your online presence by making it easy for you to connect to customers and streamline your operations. And we're going to do this step by step. So I'm going to go ahead and show you now what a one-page website actually looks like. So just put a thumbs up that you can still see my screen. You see the Google screen. Can you guys still see my screen? Thank you. Just want to make sure you're able to still see it. All right. So I'm going to show you, this is actually a one-page website. And this is a great example. I will show you this. This is an example of when Google do not accept your profile. And I'm only sharing it because this is one of my clients actually. So they have to actually go to their place of business, their office, and take a video. This is one of my clients. So when you do your Google My Business and they need to verify the address of your business, Google will not allow you to put an address up there until you go show proof that this is your business. So this is what it would look like if they haven't approved it. And it'll say verification was not successful. So get verified, submit another recording. She recorded it, but they couldn't see it, so she has to go back out there. So this is an example for you guys to see what Google says. And the reason I have it is because as a developer, and I will say this to you, if you don't want to do it yourself, and you want to hire a developer, we become the administrator for your Google My Business profile. You are still the owner of your business, but we are the administrator, the developers who have access so we can go in and do updates and changes in search engine optimization, which is SEO. So I'm going to show you, she is one of my clients. She has what is called a one-page website. And one page meaning that all her stuff is on one page. You would not know that because you are the user, you're the customer, You're the client who says it face value. But this is a one-page website, meaning that every button that you click at the top will take you to a tab. It's called a section. When you're building a website, this is called sections. So she has her home, it takes you here. She has her about us, it takes you to her about section. It's not a whole page, it just takes you to a section of her website. She has her services, it takes you right down to her services. She has the blog, it scrolls down and takes you to her blog. She has a contact us, it takes you, she only has a contact page, that's the separate page. That's the only page in this website that has a separate page. I wanted to share this with you guys because this is an example when people say, oh, websites are expensive. True, yes, it just depends on where anything could be expensive. Buying a car is expensive. So it really depends on what you want and what you need to start out with. So I say this to say that when you're starting out to get yourself on a digital footprint, you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. You can start out with a one-page website with enough stuff to get your audience and whoever's looking for you, whoever's trying to vet you, whoever's just trying to see your services, and what you have to offer. This is all you have to do. So let me go back. So let's talk about cost. Cost breakdown. And I'm going to ask you in the audience to respond to this. I'm going to ask the ladies. Ladies, how much do you pay for your nails? Okay, I got one person say $80 to $100, okay? Men, how much do you pay for a barber when you go to the barber shop? Any men, how much do you pay for a haircut? Okay, $45 plus tip. I guess the barbers is not doing what the nail salon is doing right now. Because we pay a lot of money for our nails now. Okay, $25, that's not bad. Well, I still have all of y'all beat. So let me go and show you something that I want y'all to understand. It doesn't cost as much as people think it is. So I'm going to go here. We get our nails done. We get our hair done. We get our barber done. The first thing you need to do as a business owner, as soon as you decide to file your paperwork, do your LLC, get all your stuff together, is you go get yourself your domain. We'll talk about that. But you also we'll talk about the domain first before I go to that. Let me skip over that. Let's talk about your domain. We're going to go to GoDaddy. Actually, scratch what I just said. You're going to pick your business name and your domain at the same time before you file your paperwork. Do you know how many clients, because I do consulting, that come to me after they've created their business, they created their business name, and then they lost because guess what happens? The domain for their business is already belonging to somebody else. And it costs a lot of money to get it from that person. And 99 point times out of 10, you don't want to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to try to buy a domain from somebody. So I'll just use this as an example. Let's say I get a client who decides to come to me and say, hey, I created a business. My business is called Star, let me think of something fancy. Star Beauty or something like that. So I get a client who says, hey, I got my company, I got my LLC. My company name is called Star Beauty. Okay, the first thing I would do or she should do is go to Google and search domains to see if we can even get this domain for her company. You try to get the name of your company first for your domain. And if you can't, then you can try to acronym your company, and I'll explain that to you as well. So right now she says, hey, Nakia, My company is called Star Beauty. So the first thing I do is go search for Star Beauty. Guess how much Star Beauty costs? $49,000 and 888 for her to buy that domain. But guess what she already did? She already paid her for her state license. She's already registered, and now she's stuck. She is stuck because she did not plan it out. When you are planning your business, your digital footprint is part of the planning process. Meaning that example, a real live example. Let's think about Beyonce. When Beyonce had her daughter, Blue Ivy, beautiful child, she did not know that another company already had Blue Ivy. It was a wedding company, event company. They were in probate court for years for her to fight to get that name from. They settled out of court, of course. We don't know if the lady, I'm pretty sure the lady got paid off. The reason why is because she owned Blue Ivy before Blue Ivy was even born. And it is so, so important as business owners to set up your digital footprint, because guess what they did for her? And I'm not personally speaking on it because I'm not the lawyer part of the case, is if you can prove that you had something first before somebody else, the judge in IT industry, they can go back and look and see how long it was archived. It is sites that they can pull up from archives to see how, if you say I've been on the web for 10 years, it's out there. They can actually find out that you've been on the web for 10 years. So in this case, Star Beauty, I'm using her as my client, my customer. We can't even get this domain. So I go back to her and I say, hey, the domain is taken and it's $49,000. If you have $49,000, then we can get it. But if not, we got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what we're going to use for your domain now. Now, she doesn't have to change her business name because that's the business name that she created. She's already filed her state paperwork. So as a developer or her consultant, I now have to help her figure out a way of finding her domain and keeping her business name that she's already paid for. So let's get creative. So Star Beauty is gone. So we know it's gone and we need .com. So she can't get that. So we get a little creative. So now we can say, we could do S Beauty. This is how as a business owner, you start to figure out what can I buy, what domain. And that's taken. So she can't get that as well. So we can now say, I'm pretty sure Star is a common name. So Star might be taken all around. So we can do this. We can do Star BTY. We can abbreviate, which is available. Now, this is where it gets interesting because now you go back and you say, okay, well, people recognize Star BTY. And you can say, okay, well, that's short, straight to the point. And then people may ask her, well, what does Star BTY stand for? And then she could tell them her whole entire company name, Star Beauty. Now, that's one way of looking at it. Or she can use an alternative if it's available, which I don't normally advise, but we'll talk about that as well. We can see if it's available in .NET, and it's not, it's $10,000. So now we're at a crossroads. So she definitely now has to abbreviate her business. Again, we can do Star BTY. I think that would be her best bet. That would be my suggestion to her, because BTY, she can explain to people that that's her domain. So when people go to search for her, and it's always best to shorten your domain. I say that to say, in this day and age, and I'm not speaking, and I am speaking to generations. The younger generations are not going to type everything. Older generations, yes. If we're not having eye problems, you don't want your audience or your customer or consumer to feel like, oh my God, this is just too much for me to type. And let's be honest, most people type on their cell phones. 90% of the people use their cell phones to go to websites. So if I'm trying to type it and my fingers are too hitting the keys, and I don't want something long and drawn out to type. I want to be able to just type and get it there. So she doesn't have a long domain. So let's just say that she goes with STARBTY. which is her domain for her business. Now, then the next thing she needs to do is go either to Microsoft or we're going to go to Google. And hold on a second. Put this down some so I can see the tabs. So we'll either go to Microsoft or we'll go to Google. And it's your preference. I will say that with Microsoft, you do get all the, when you buy their business license, you get all the other products with that license. So it's totally up to you how much money you want to spend. But back to my question on nails and barber. If you can pay to get your nails done, you can definitely pay to get your domain, and you can pay to get your email, your business email. So let's look at the price for Google Business. I'm not sure if they're having some website problems. Okay, let's see how much the price is. So right now with Google, they're charging, I think everybody went up a little bit. Let's see why it's not showing. Now this tells you something's going on with their website. Let me see if I go to Safari and see if it pulls up. Okay, I see. Yeah, something's going on with their website. Even Google has issues because it shouldn't show, their screen should show us the prices. I don't know why it's doing that. It's $7 for their starter package. I do know it's $14 for the next package. Now I'm going to go back to Microsoft. I don't know. Google is having issues with their website because normally it comes across the screen. So maybe they're doing an update right now while we're actually talking. So I suggest Microsoft because you get all the Microsoft Word, you get PowerPoint, you get Excel. So with Microsoft 365 Business, this is their prices. And guess what? You can pay for this for the whole year. That's one nail appointment. If you take the $66, that's one nail appointment. Even the $12.50. So I always tell people that if we can pay for our nails, we can pay get our hair done, we can invest in our business, and it doesn't cost that much money to invest in your business. And as y'all can see with everything that you get with Microsoft, these are all the applications you get. You get Word. I have this one. I have the Microsoft 365 Business Standard. You get Word, you get Excel, you get PowerPoint, you get Outlook, you get Teams, you get OneDrive, SharePoint, Exchange, Clipchamp, and Microsoft Loop, which is, I think, is new. Let me just check the chat. Okay, I see some of the questions. Somebody said some men get their nails too done. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so somebody brought up an interesting point. I'll touch on that. GoDaddy can take your domain too. The only time that GoDaddy can take your domain, and I will say this, I've been with GoDaddy for over the last 16 years. They only can take your domain from you is if you do not either have it on auto renew or you don't pay for it when it expires. You can either do 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So they don't just take your domain. They will send you email alerts after alerts and say, hey, your domain is about to expire. Do you want to renew? And I with my domain, I choose to have it on auto renew because I don't want to forget. I had a domain that I had for years because I tend to buy some too because I like to sell them, that I lost out on because I did not auto renew. And guess how much that domain is worth right now? That domain is worth $20,000. I was devastated because I did not renew it. You have people in my profession as a developer, they just buy domains and hold on to them because they wait for companies or people to create businesses and they sell the domains to them. Because depending on the type of person who, if you're a multimillionaire, you need that domain. I'll tell you, the guy who Facebook Meta from, I know they paid him a pretty penny for Meta. Because who would have thought that later on Facebook wanted to have Meta? They wanted to change their name to Meta. So whoever owned it, they got paid because they owned it. And Facebook wanted to buy it because they wanted to change their company. They wanted to have the domain Meta. And also, yes, somebody also brought that up. I also do the USPTO search as well to see who has registered to patent their business and who is out there trying to make sure that they, I would say only go to the USTPO for research purposes, but if you're not looking to, it's expensive. If you're not really looking to patent your business and copyright, then I would just go there and I'll pull that up for the person who asks. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll answer the next question, but let me pull up the person that asked me about and that's a good oversight, the USPTO. So this is the website that you would go to when you're trying to do trademark searches or just searches, period. And everybody, let me say this, everybody do not trademark their business. But if you plan on this is, you're going to have this business and this is what you're going to do forever and ever, then I advise to trademark because my application is in. So I advise to get a lawyer that does trademarking. And definitely, if this is something that you feel like your brand is going to take you further and you building upon it, I absolutely advise to trademark your brand, your products, or anything. But this is where you would go if you guys have never been to the site before, and you would actually just do a general search. I can use the company we were just talking about, Star Beauty, just to actually see if Star Beauty is out there. And guess what else it tells me? Even though Star Beauty domain is gone, guess what? Star Beauty is no longer trademarked. It's dead. It was abandoned. She didn't renew. But it actually was a company called Star Beauty, and they all did. So this is a good insight for you guys before you guys start registering with the state of Maryland and paying that 300 and I think it's 300 and then you pay the expedited $50 and $20 for the certificate. It's best to do your research before you come up with your name. It may sound catchy, it may sound like, but somebody else might have thought about the same thing that you thought about. And as Oprah Winfrey always say, the only difference between you and someone else is that they did it first. That's it. That's all. So somebody asked me, what advice do I have with creating a splash page or a product or a campaign, even if you already have a website? I say go for it. So let me say this. If you have a website, you don't necessarily have to create a splash page. You can create one or just create a landing page for whatever campaign that you're currently running at that time. And it can be built into your website. And the good thing about it is you control the narrative on the back end because you can run that campaign. You can schedule it out to say, hey, I want the campaign to run this Monday and I want it to end on Friday. And then when people come to your website, that landing page, they're going to land on that landing page before they even get to your website. That was someone that asked the question. I hope I answered it for you. And how do I feel about Zoho? I love Zoho. I would say for people that's on this webinar, if you can afford Zoho, which is a great customer relationship management system, I would say it's the best alternate to Salesforce. If you can afford it, I say go for it. They have a lot of tools in Zoho and their support when you pick up that phone and call, even though they're out of India, will answer every time. They have some support here in the States, but most of them are in India. And they are great. So if you can afford it, I say use it. But if you can't and you're starting out, you have a little other kind of CRMs. You got HubSpot, who gives you a free CRM. You just get the base model, but if you want add-ons, then you have to do a paid version. So let's talk about some more pricing. because we have time, but let me pull up some more pricings because the presentation, I want it to be more interactive, and I want to answer y'all questions as much as I can, because this is what I do when I get hired as a consultant. I pick things apart for my clients and we look at everything. We do audits on their website. So let me just pull up some prices for you guys. I can't do all the questions right now, but we're going to look at Zoho. I'm going to tell you, if you get Zoho 1, because it gives you everything for one price. And this is the price for Zoho 1. Zoho 1 is $37 per employee. But if you want the flexible pricing, you can do $90. And then each additional user, I want to say each additional user was like $20. And in Zoho 1, you get all this for Zoho 1. Okay. Let me make sure it didn't go away. Okay, it's still there. Okay, so Zoho 1, this is everything that you get in Zoho 1. So if you have the budget, I would definitely say Zoho 1 is definitely a tool to use for a customer-based CRM. It's very engaging. You get the security levels, you get the step-by-step SMS, you actually get the touch face, the touch ID for your employees to log in. And we can talk about this offline. I will give my information because I can go in depth with Zoho of why you would want to use Zoho. But let me also pull up some other avenues for you guys, not outside of the email, but other ways. So MailChimp. MailChimp also, if you're trying to engage your customers with mail, sending out email marketing campaigns, they are pretty reasonable. They have a free plan. And in that plan, it's free, it's $0. I think everybody now is getting away from their free plans in this day and age. So they're giving you free for 14 days and then they're $20. So it's their starter plan. So their starter plan is basically saying that you can send up to 6,000 emails. So yeah, their starter plan is saying that you can send up to 6,000 emails a month, and you have 500 contacts that you could save. So this is just giving you a price breakdown of platforms that you guys can utilize without breaking the bank and still be able to run your business. That's MailChimp. This is Zoho. This is the website for you to go research the trade if somebody trade named their business. And then GoDaddy, the domains are cheap when you first start out. So for 3 years, she can get it for 1 cent for 3 years if she make it hers. So if she make it hers for 3 years, her domain, this is what her domain would be. For 3 years, her domain would be $43.99. But she also wants to get domain protection. So let me tell you what domain protection is, and you all should get it. Prevent hackers from stealing your domain or making any unauthorized changes. And it also requires an approval of a 2-step authentication. So nobody can just go in there and make changes without being verified. So it would only cost $79.96 for her domain. And that's for 3 years and full protection. So I advise, when you're building out your business, these are the tools that you need. And that's just to start off. So I just gave you an email campaign that you could go to. Another one is that I do refer my clients to, is Constant Contact. They have like a free trial, a 30-day free trial, and their price is a little different. Let me tell you why I reference Constant Contact, because you can actually do your social media as well. You can link not only just that, but you could do your social media. You could do social media. You could do Facebook, LinkedIn, Vimeo. All this can be imported with Constant Contact. So if you're making like an email marketing elicit to about a product, you can import Canva into this. Whatever you made in Canva, whatever you made on Eventbrite, you can put those features into this and be able to send it out. And with the standard version, you actually get 3 users, And that means that could be yourself and your developer. If you have somebody, you outsourcing it to do it for you and you don't want to do it yourself. And these are all the features you get with that. And you have automations. They do allow 3 automations in that particular plan. And you're allowed to post videos and post your social media as well in this package. Let's see what everybody's saying. Now let's talk about hosting. That is very important. Amazon, hands down, is the best. But I don't advise it unless you're a client who has the funding. Amazon charges based off of bandwidth, and that could be expensive. Amazon will charge you on speed, bandwidth of how much data you're using because it's on the cloud. A lot of the hosting carriers use Amazon. I use Hostinger. I have been with Hostinger for the last 7 years. I've used Bluehost. I still have an account with Bluehost occasionally. So I do cloud hosting. Why? Because all my clients' websites could stay up and running with no problems because it's in the cloud. But I do backups every single day because anything could happen in the cloud. I think you guys remember Amazon was shut down about 2, 3 weeks ago, and everybody in the world, banks, nobody could get access to anything because Amazon house everybody. You have banks, you have DoD, Department of Defense, Homeland Security. Everybody is using Amazon cloud services. And the reason I know this is because outside of the web stuff that I do, I'm a database administrator. So I build Postgraph, I build Oracle and SQL databases, and I've actually migrated them and keep them. So a lot of big major companies, when Amazon went down, had that issue that they had going on, nobody could get to access to anything. And in that time, Amazon knew that they had to hurry up and get it corrected. Because as a DBA, our job is just to give you a background. When you're a DBA, if my system crash, we have we have maybe an hour or less to get that system back up, and that's why it's called backup and recovery, because we got to get that system back up from the time that it shut down. And when a system goes down, we don't allow anything new to come through the system because we can't capture the data. So the system shuts down. We do what is called a cold backup. Can't do a hot backup because the system's down, but we got to get that system back up and running. So that's the good thing about me being in the web development space, is because I understand how the database mechanism behind the scene works for a website. All right, so let's go. We talked about cost. And we're going to talk about the roadmap for your growth, detailing phases as you build online with a clear milestone to add for it. So we talked about Google My Business. We also talked about you getting your domain. We talked about you getting the email, which is essential to somebody getting in communication with you. But I also want to talk to you about a trick that I always tell people: you fake it till you make it, which is the phone line service. You do not have to, nowadays, I don't think a lot of people have landlines, but in a space and time that we're in right now, you can actually get yourself what is called a virtual phone, and you can actually connect it to your cell phone, and you can actually get it listed with 411. Let me pull up some examples for you guys. And another thing I want to share with you guys, when you see up here sponsored results, when you do a search, it's because these people or these companies have paid. They're paying to be at the top of the search results. They're sponsored. That means when you see anything that says sponsored, that means I'm paying to make sure that my company, and you as a business owner, can do the same. If you know you're trying to run a campaign and you're trying to get clients to buy in, you can actually go to Google My Business and you can budget yourself out an allocation to run an ad and get yourself up in the top 5. But these companies are sponsored. That means that when it's anytime you see a sponsored result, that means that they're paying. They're running some ad in the background. They're paying. They want to make sure they get at the top of the list on the search engine. Now, organically, the people who is not paying are the people who are organically getting pulled up. And these are the people right here, like Google, eVoice, Grasshopper. I've used Grasshopper, had no complaints. WP Beginners. These are people who are not paying for advertising to be sponsored. But these people are. Ring Central is a great one. I've had Ring Central. Ring Central actually is like one of the best virtual phone systems there are. And you can connect it to everything. And if you are a business who do customer service, this will actually be great for you, because if anybody that's ever worked in a call center, Ring Central is actually set up just like if you set your phone line as it rings in and it pulls the data from a customer that's calling you. They did have a starter package. I'm not sure if they're showing the prices. I don't know if they're showing it. They used to show their starter package. I'm not sure if they're showing it anymore, but they did have a starter package for people to let me see if I can find their starter package. Yep, here we go. And you can start off with $20 or $25. And these are and they give you, so the $25 plan gives you the CRM integration. So not only do it allows the phone calls to come in, but now it's creating a lead for you for the customer. So this can be built into your website. And this is a great tool to build into the website, because if you ever put a contact me button on a website with a phone number, this could be built into it. And they also give you text messages. So you get 100 text messages to whoever you're texting per month. And this is something new they just added. The AI receptionist. I haven't tried that feature out, but I think I had one business owner that did have done it. It's like they sound like a robot somewhat. They answer the calls for you. So as a business owner, this all ties into your digital footprint. I just want people not to think it's just all about websites. This is all the mechanisms that you need to start out building your business. This should be part of your business plan strategically. I need phone service. I need internet. I need email. And I'm going to go to the hosting plan, and then I'll move on from the cost. So let's just look at hosting. Right now, everybody's running a Black Friday sale. So if you don't have a hosting, or I say this, you can wait, because your developers, mostly like me, I offer my clients to be on my hosting plan. So that's one less thing they got to worry about. I build it into the price. If not, and you want to get your own hosting plan, that's perfectly fine too. Now you just need to know what hosting plan you need and how much it costs. But right now, everybody's running Black Friday sales, even Hostinger. So right now, they're running a Black Friday sale. We're going to just look at the pricing and the type of hosting. I always recommend the cloud because of the uptime. If you get a cloud hosting plan, it's the best plan that you can get. If you decide to get a VPS, just be ready to spend some money. I have one client that does have a VPS hosting. That means that she's on a virtual private server, meaning that my client is allocated a certain server. Her website is on this server, and her website, it's because the reason certain clients would need that type of hosting is because, I'll give you an example. If you want to build out a whole store and you know you're going to run products, you know you're going to update your products every day, every week, whatever the case may be, it's probably best for you to be sitting on a server by yourself, because you don't want you to get shut down because of somebody else on your hosting plan. I mean, on that same server. But she has her own server, but of course that is way more expensive. If you don't need it, don't get it right away. I advise. And these are the rates they're doing right now at hosting because of Black Friday. So right now, if you guys don't have hosting and you need hosting, this would probably be the best time for you to get it right now, because they're offering low prices for hosting right now. And like I said, the other company that I've used that I will stand behind would be Bluehost. I would never stand behind GoDaddy for hosting, because GoDaddy will lose your website. They do not do regular backups. They are very good for domain maintenance to get by your domain name and make sure it's protected, but they're not good for website hosting. I've had too many clients lose their websites. And then when you call GoDaddy support, they can't pull it back up. They don't have the manpower on the back end to be able to pull your website back up. And I think right now Bluehost is actually running a sale. So right now everybody is running a Black Friday sale. So you definitely could get on a bandwagon right now if you don't have a hosting plan. And this is what the cloud is looking like right now. And cloud for Bluehost is expensive. Cloud, because Bluehost just started doing cloud hosting. So they just started out, but they're on Amazon. But right now their rates are kind of high. Because as you can see right now, it's $75 a month. But their basic web hosting plans are pretty reasonable. Let me go back. So let's talk about common mistakes that small businesses make in their digital journey and how to avoid them and ensure success in the online marketplace. Again, common mistakes are, I will show you, common mistakes with business owners, what they make is they start off, when you give somebody your email, it's starbeauty@gmail.com. Why am I giving you an open source email? An email that's not secure, not protected, but I'm giving it to you. And again, I'm gonna go back to getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting your hair cut, whatever grooming thing you're doing. You think of the cost that you pay for the necessity. This is a need, not a necessity. Online is a need for your business. It's not a necessity. So if you look at it in that aspect, you won't make those mistakes. But to go to an event or even a seminar or webinar and you pass out your business card and you give them this business card that says starbeauty@gmail.com. Why are you using an open source email? Let me explain what open source is. So open source is like Gmail, things like that. So open source emails are not protected. And I don't want to get too technical with you guys. And you take the risk of somebody sending you some sensitive information and it gets hacked into. So having your domain says to me that it's Miss Jones or Donna Jones at starbeauty.com or starbeauty.net or starbeauty.org is very important. You definitely don't want to make those mistakes. And here's another common mistake that people make. What is the difference between, and I'm going to ask before I show this, let me ask the audience. Do anybody in the audience know what is the difference between .org, .net, .com? Anybody? You can type it in the chat. Okay. Nobody knows the difference. All right, I'll show you what the difference is. This is the difference. 1 second. Well, we all know what gov is and edu, correct? I hope so. Anytime you see .edu, that's an educational facility. Anytime you see .gov, that is a government entity. So you will never probably get .gov or .edu because right now they wouldn't even let you buy it. And you would have to go through so much paperwork to fill out to even get those domains. and I'm going to share with you guys. So let's just take a look. The main difference is their original purpose through usage. So if I'm a business, I'm going to use .com. If I am an organization that's a traditionally nonprofit, a church, a charity, I'm going to use .org. So that's the mistake a lot of people do. I have met so many commercial businesses that have .org, and the first thing I say to them, I'm like, "Oh, you're a nonprofit?" And they'll say, "No," and I'll say, "Well, why are you .org?" Because immediately the client, the consumer, or another business to business, when they see .org, if they know what it means, they're thinking, oh, you're a nonprofit or you're a church or a charity. They're not thinking that you're in a business to sell something. That is a very, very common mistake that business owners make. You are not, unless you're a nonprofit, a church, or a charity, you're not .org. You are .com. .net is a network infrastructure like internet providers. But if you can't get .com, I will say this, a lot of commercial businesses will do .net because they could not get .com. .ai is something new that everybody is starting to get into and get .ai because of the new artificial intelligence that's coming down the pipeline. So people are now catching on to this tech savvy because I even purchased a domain with .ai. And believe it or not, in another maybe before 5 years, maybe 5 to 10 years, people will start to do .ai because the AI is taking over the industry. So just remember to not make that mistake as a business owner to do .org if you're not a nonprofit or a charity or church. Make sure it's .com. That is a big common mistake that I see a lot of business owners make. Now Q&A, we're going to open this up. It is 11:13, but I want to take this now to really answer a lot of y'all questions and get more engaged with you guys. If I need to do a one-on-one, everybody that joined the webinar today, you will get a free 30 minutes. I will either do a consultation with you or I will do a website audit of your existing website, and we can discuss that one-on-one after this. But I want to take you guys' questions because I think the benefit to y'all is not to just talk to you guys, but I want you to actually physically see this and get the meat and the potatoes of it. So let me go to some of y'all questions and we're going to pull up some other stuff. Somebody asked about the AI here in the Bay Area. Yeah, I think it's the new fad. The AI is now because of the artificial intelligence piece that everybody is now starting to use AI. So as we get into artificial intelligence, you probably will start to see AI a lot more on the domain. A lot of tech companies will probably use AI, but I think it's a fad. It's one of them things where if I'm an influencer, I'm just going to convince you to do AI, but nobody knows why they're doing AI. And I'll give you an example. I have an 8-year-old. I was at his school. All the kids in the cafeteria kept saying 6'7". So, side note, a little joke to make y'all laugh. I went in the cafeteria. I said 6'7". Okay, 8'9". I'm thinking we doing math problems. The whole time I did not know that 6'7" came from a rap song. So I asked another kid that's a teenager. I said, well, what does 6'7" mean? They was like, oh, it's a rap song, rap song. So I was like, well, do y'all know why he's saying 6'7"? No, they don't know why he was saying 6'7". So I Google searched it. He was saying 6'7" because the basketball player, something Ball, last name Lavelle Ball, he's 6'7". So you got all these people screaming out 6'7". It's just like with AI. Right now, everybody's saying AI, AI. So it's more of a fad. People don't know why they're picking AI, they just doing it. Oh, well, thank you, Lorenzo Ball. Like I said, in this world of digital people, it's like I'm going to follow somebody. But what I will say to make your business stand apart, don't always be a follower. Try to be unique. Try to be different. Even when you're building out your brand, telling your story about what you want your customers to understand, you don't have to follow nobody. You be unique in your own way. And trust me, this is something I'm big on. As I get older in my life and my spiritual journey, everybody is not your client. You have to be okay with that. If you go online and on your website and you say, hey, you talk to your developer and you say, well, I need to change this, change that. This is not working. Be okay with not, sometimes everybody y'all may not mesh well. That may not be your client. That may not be a customer. So always understand online who is your target audience, who you want your client to be. Because let me say this to you. Everybody is not your client. And then that one client could mess up your online reputation. And I say that with the most heart respect is because Google right now, when you do Google reviews, you can do Google reviews, Yelp reviews, Pinterest reviews. People could damage your reputation and you have to spend way more money now to undo something that they did online. And that's why I stress to people, we all want to make money. We have to survive and we have to thrive. But you have to know your space. You have to know your niche. You have to know your story. You have to know what you're willing to put up with, what you're willing not to put up with. I stress that so much with digital. And I'm really honest with people up front when it comes to cost. If this is not in your budget, that is perfectly fine. It might not be for you right now. That's what I always tell people. It's not for you right now, but down the line it may be. Don't always just turn a blind eye and say, oh, I'm not going to do this. It's too expensive. It's too complicated. I don't know everything. I don't do hair. I go to a hairdresser. I would not dream of doing my hair, my kids' hair, because my kids' hair is so long. I don't want to do it. I go to the professionals. I have a lot of clients who come to me after they try to do the websites themselves. It's like buying your car. When you buy your car and you don't get a warranty package or you don't take it for maintenance and you don't service it, guess what happens? It breaks down. And when it breaks down, it's going to cost you way more money than what it would have cost you if you'd have serviced it monthly or did what you had to do for the maintenance. So that's another key component that a lot of clients that I see and I see everywhere I go make mistakes of. Once they get a website, it's one and done for them. I'm good. I'm on social media. I got my website up. No. A website is a ongoing project that needs to be built into your budget. And the reason why it has to be built into your budget is because maintenance on the back end needs to be done. And if it's not done on the back end, let me tell you what you run into. Your website will crash. You will have outdated plugins. You will have outdated content. You always have to keep your website updated, whether you learn how to do it yourself or whether you hire a consultant to do it. And then somebody else put in here, can you legally buy and sell domains without being a developer? Absolutely. Yes, you can. All you do is have your GoDaddy account or whoever account you like. You buy your domains and you don't let them expire. Trust and believe me, if somebody wants to buy it from you, they will reach out because it's a way for you to be able to find out who owns the domain. And they will reach out to you to buy it. So no, you don't have to be a developer to just buy domains. If you have the funds and you want to buy them and you want to hold them, that is perfectly fine. Anybody else? Absolutely. You definitely need to pay to grow. That's why I said strategic planning and budgeting is a great way to start. I'm not saying that go out here and just do everything because I didn't start out and do everything. You have to build slowly, but also experiment and take some of the free stuff. Let me say this to you. I had the Marriott, I did a conference yesterday. It was a gentleman that was in my conference who offered free video headshots to people in the room yesterday. And you know what I told them, people? If you guys don't reach out to him and take that free, when somebody offer it to you, you missed the boat. He offered them free headshots. He offered them for their websites. He was like, because he said the same thing that I say. That's another mistake that people do. And I struggle with this all the time, is people will use their phone, your cell phone, and take a headshot. That is not a professional headshot. You have a professional. I'll say this, you go get your passport picture. That could be your, I hate to say this, you can go to CVS, Walgreens, put on a shirt, a suit, a jacket, whatever, stand at that wall or whatever, and you can get a picture. That really could be your headshot. I'm just telling people to think outside the box. And you can give it to your developer or yourself, and that could be the picture that you actually upload and put on your website. But all these pictures that I see as a developer, when my clients give me pictures, it takes me so much longer to edit the picture to make you look decent, to even put you on your website. And then someone asks, can I migrate my information from Hostinger to Google? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. What do I think about the AI generated headshots? I like them. It's nothing wrong with them. You just got to make sure that AI don't do too much to make you look like a how do I explain it? To make you look like your face is painted, like airbrushed. But I have nothing against AI. Better yet, I'll show you. I'll show you one of the tools that I use when I get a messed up picture. I use PixArt, but I am actually a graphic designer. I can actually physically go in and edit your picture in Adobe. Adobe is expensive. I do Photoshop and I do Illustrator. But if a client is not paying me as a developer, I work smarter, not harder. So if you're not paying me to go into Photoshop and physically, manually, that's what I call it, manually edit your picture, I use this tool right here, which is an AI tool, which is called PixArt. And PixArt is really, really, hold on, let me log in. It's really good. I'm just going to show you guys so you can see for yourself. Let me accept the number. And I have authenticated app on all my stuff so I won't get hacked. All right, so I'm just going to show you something. I am going to take one of my personal photos. That's my daughter. All right. So I'm going to just show you because you asked about the AI. Let me move that out the way. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get a picture. All right, I'll take this picture. This is a friend of mine, so it was at a seminar. And I'm just giving you an example. So we see this picture, right? And they offer AI enhancement. So I'm just going to do a quick run through so you guys can see real quick. No, never take it from that way and take it from this way. Let me go to my uploads. I'll take this picture. So this was an obituary I did actually for someone recently. This was their baby picture. So I took this baby picture because it's old and I enhanced it. So now you see the before and after. I just wanted to give the person that asked the question. Sometimes it can make you look too smooth. It just really depends. But I'll take it because I did this for an obituary. So it was going to the print shop, so I was fine with it. But online, this would have actually made him look animated. Let me go back to the question that somebody asked. So I hope I answered your question about the headshot. It just depends on how which tool you're using, because some AI tools can make it look too animated, and then some make it look just right. It just does it just where it needs to be. Or then you have some AI tools who will allow you to be able to adjust it yourself. So I'm gonna undo it, and then you can actually adjust it yourself if you like. Like PixArt is one of them. You can actually go in and you can adjust the brightness yourself. You can play with it yourself till you feel like it looks better. So that's just an example. That's one example. Let me go back to somebody asked another question. Somebody asked, can you remind us which service you recommend for hosting? I'll pull that back up. That would be Hostinger. And right now they're actually running a deal. So, yes. And I recommend you getting the cloud hosting. And right now the cloud hosting is running $7.45 a month. And they also give you a free domain for a year. And one thing I do love about Hostinger is your SSL certificate. Let me explain to you guys what the SSL certificate is. And it's important because you need it for your website. And I love the fact that Hostinger gives it to you for free with your So this is a secure socket layer. It's a certificate that established, and I know a lot of you guys don't know what this is, but I'm about to show you, which says that your site is secure. Have you ever noticed when you go to a website and you see right up in here, you see that lock? This is how I know I'm on a secure website. I see a lock. That tells me that my connection to this website is secure. So when I'm on this website, I know that they got authentication on the back end, that I'm safe to search on this website, do whatever I need to do on this website. But you do have some people that have websites that's not secure. That's where the HTTPS come from. Just so you guys know, without me getting too technical with you. Let me see if any other questions, what we got going on. Any other questions that anybody have? Any more questions?
Nakia, this is Michelle. I don't know if did you catch the one where Trent was asking about advice or guidance on creating a unique splash page for a
I
product?
did. I did. I
Okay,
was talking about the landing page, but let me go to Splash for him real quick. But I'll go back to that.
okay.
Okay, let me go back to it. I was hosting her. So we're gonna talk. I think Trent did ask this. So if you do the splash page, like I was saying to you, Trent, it's the same as the landing page. The only difference is it's just your introductory page, and it appears before the content. What I want to explain to you is they work in the same mechanism. Um, are you trying to, and maybe Trent, if you're still here, explain what is it that you're trying to capture, and that way I can tell you the difference between the two. Let's see if he's here. Okay, Trent, you said for a splash page, what you were thinking is, for example, I have a plumbing business and now I want to start a secondary heating business. Okay. All right. So, everybody, Trent was asking, he has a plumbing business and he wants to start a heating business, a secondary. So let me give you an example, Trent, of what you're trying to do. What you don't want to do is split your audience. I'm just giving you my personal experience as a consultant. You don't want to split the two because what you should just do is incorporate your plumbing business with your heating business, unless they're two different companies. If you can answer that question for me, Trent, is it two different companies with two different names, or is it the same company? Are you still there, Trent? Okay, so they're two different names and they're similar clients. So, so you got two different companies. So the issue you will run into, Trent, is you're going to divide your audience. Even if you created a splash page or a landing page, you're going to confuse your, I'm going to give you an example. I'm looking for a plumber and I try to find you. You're now going to either Google or going to, when you, your website is getting indexed, it's going to conflict with your indexing because your splash or landing page is now talking about heating, but your website is talking about plumbing. So you can either merge the two and offer the two services under the same company, or just have two completely different. I would suggest have two landing pages. You may have a landing page for the plumbing business and a landing page for the heating business. Because to the consumer, if I'm the consumer, I'm looking at you as two different companies. Whereas though you could just have one company and offer those services. I have contractors. I have a contractor that does, he started out as a painter, went back, got his contracting license, and now he offer painting and contracting services. So all we did with his website is we added on to the services that, and he actually changed his name because it used to be Customer Painters and it's now Customer Painters and Restoration because he now does contract work. So all he did was went to the state of Maryland, changed the name, paid the $150, changed his business name, added on the services, which may be easier for you, Trent, because you don't want to divide your company. Then now you got to pay taxes twice. If I don't know the details, if you're got two separate companies, and then now you got to pay for two for everything on your digital, because now you're basically saying that the heating and plumbing company is still you, one company. And I don't know if you guys have the same address. And then if you do got the same address, then you're conflicting with Google. You're conflicting with Google My Business because now Google My Business is saying, okay, are you a heating company? Are you a plumbing company? Which one are you? So I think you need to think about that more in depth, and we could talk about that offline, and I can help you decide on that one. But yeah, you may want to try to either merge them together or change the name. That way you can do both. And let's see what else. Okay. Let me show you an example so you guys can see it. Hold on one sec. I hope I didn't delete it. I'm gonna actually log into one of my clients' websites. And I'm actually going to show you that. And hold on, let's ask the question. Yes, and I'll show you that too. Do I back up my website and how do I back it up? So let me log in into one of my sites. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick just so I can log into her website. Give me 1 second, and then I'll come right back. And let me go log into her website, and I'll come right back to you guys after I log in. And this would be the back end. And this is the website I'm about to actually physically show you guys is WordPress. The reason I use WordPress for a lot of my clients is because WordPress allows you to be as creative as you like to be. WordPress, you can be creative, you can design, you can do whatever you want. WordPress is for people who really are developers and coders because, and I'm not going to say the ordinary person, they could probably catch on if they YouTube and but it could be a little complex. It's not like Shopify or what's the other one? Wix. Wix and Shopify are plug and plays, are for people who want to do it themselves. They give you a box. They give you all these tools in a box, and that's it. It's a one and done. You get this template, you get this template, you get this color, you get this color. That's all you get. With WordPress, I get to create whatever my client wants. I can make it from scratch. I can code it, which is HTML or CSS, or I can use plugins, which we all use plugins, but it gives me the capability, or I could take a theme that my client likes. And guess what I can do with that theme? I can not only use the theme, but I can also make it my own for the client. So I can code in the theme, change some code. I can do whatever with WordPress. And I will tell you this, a lot of government entities are moving over to the WordPress site too. Let me share my screen back with you guys so you can see it. Just give me a thumbs up if y'all guys can see my screen. Thank you, Monique. Monique sorted. Let me share my screen. So this is the back side of my client's WordPress website. And as you can see, my client has 9 updates that I have to do, which is not too bad. So I'll go in and do the updates real quick before I show you the question that you asked about the updates. My client has 9 updates that need to be done. And the reason I don't allow the website to update by itself is because if the plugin has a bug in it, it could affect my client's website. So I go in manually and click the update button myself, because if something is wrong, I can address the issue right away instead of waiting for my client to call me on the phone and say, hey, Nakia, my website down, or my website look crazy. Somebody just called me and said they looked at my website. So I don't advise clients to turn it on automatic. Go in, if you want to go in yourself, go in and update it, hit the update button yourself, because if you allow it to automate it, and if something is wrong and you're not by your computer and you can't get to it right away, guess what happens? People online on the front end see something that's crazy. They'll see a bunch of computer gibberish like codes and stuff like, what is going on with my website? So now that I've updated those, I'm going to refresh her website because I've updated them. And I am going to now show you the person that asked me the question of how I do my backups. So I actually do backups on the site itself, but I have an external backup software that I use, which is called Updraft. And when I take the backups, I have backups on automation, as you can see. I take the backups and I take the backups of everything. And then every other day it takes a backup of a database. So when I do her backups, it goes to a Google Drive. I then also, as a developer, and I don't have to, but I just, for my clients, I like them to have reassurance. I send them the file of their website, because what I have learned in this business, you have developers who will not give you access to your website. And I'm gonna say this, it's a double-edged sword. It's 2 sides to every story. If you did not pay your developer, they don't owe you anything because they did a service and you didn't pay them. In the eyes of the law, you signed a contract, you didn't pay them. But if you did pay them, I feel as though that I don't need to hold your stuff hostage. I'm going to send you your backups. Now, you may not know what to do with the backups. Just put it in a folder on your hard drive, on your laptop, your desktop, and just save them, or put on a USB external drive. Because if something ever happens to your website, whether I'm your developer or you hire a new developer, you're going to have the website. You're going to have the database. You're going to have your themes. You're going to have your pictures. You're going to have your plugins. You're going to have every component to your website. So to answer the question that somebody asked, I use Updraft Plus, and they run in a special right now. They're very good. I've used them over the last 15 years, had no complaints. They house it, they store it, and you can set it up when you initially set it up on your website. They ask you, where would you like your backups to go? So I have mine set up to go to my Google Drive because I have a lot of space, because I have a lot of client stuff. So I have folders for each client, and my backups go to the Google Drive, the folder that I created for each individual client, to answer that question. Any other questions somebody had? Oh, I wanted to answer that question one moment about the splash page. I actually ran a campaign for the client that I'm showing right now. Let me see if I can go to it to give you example of when they're running specials. Let me see if I can pull it up. And my client, yep, I'm going to show you. So my client was actually running a promo during the summertime. And this is the back end of the website. As you can see, the promo is no longer running anymore. But when it was running, and I'll just show you the front side of my client's website, which I love dearly. This is a great client. If you ever get to meet this client, her name is Henitha. It's her, she does networking events, and that's how I met Miss Michelle. So I will say to you guys, if you ever get a chance to meet her, you would be able to so this is my client's front end of her website, right? And in the front end of her website, go back to it. When she was running a promotion at the time, because she runs them occasionally, on the back end, this was her, I'll show you this page. This was her promotion page. I cut it off, but I wanted you to see what it is. So this is what a splash page or a landing page looks like. She was running a resume target at the time. And this was what it looked like. She was running a resume special. And then a person would just click the button to go to the site, but right now it wouldn't work because it's not on right now, and I'm not going to turn it on. I want her to say, oh, somebody saw something on my website. But the button took them to the website, meaning they can go to the site if they want to. At the time we ran the campaign was just this. It was a landing page, a splash page, and that was all it was. It gave a little bit of information about her company, a couple little marketing, people that have used her services. It talked about what she offered and what people are, engaging, targeting things, and then get my 200 resume now, learn more about the specials. This is considered a splash page or a landing page. And then if they wanted to get past the page, they just went to the site and they took her back to the site. Anybody have any questions about that? Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Splash page. Okay, 2 different names. And while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and share the QR code. Whoever signs up on the QR code today will get 10% off of services. Let me pull up my QR code. You could take your phone and scan this QR code and put your information in I use Popl, and then you can use that. And then you can also, in the note section, can you please put Metro Small Business Program? So that way I would know this is where you came from. And I will do the same thing that I did yesterday. One lucky winner got a free 5-page website. So I'll pick somebody. I'll actually have Michelle pick somebody. I will not pick them. Whoever signs this QR code and put their information and put in the notes, Metro Small Business Program, I won't pay for the hosting, but I will do the labor. I will do a 5-page website. I have one winner from yesterday, which is the nonprofit, and I will have Michelle pick the winner, and we will reach out to you guys. So scan the QR code. And I'm only doing this because this is a season to be given. So, but no, I truly, and everybody else would get 10% off services, but definitely scan the QR code, put your name in it. In the note section, you put Metro Small Business Program, and I will have Michelle pick your name, and we'll tell whoever gets. So it's important. Let me tell you why it's important to network. I said this to people yesterday. When we walk in a room, you have to be open. It's like when you go to church or you sit in the back of the row of church. You never know how your blessing is going to come. So you're supposed to, anytime somebody says, hey, you got a business card, you got a digital card, always share, because you just don't know what that person can do for you or what you can do for that person. Meaning that life is give and take when we meet people. Relationships are give and take. You give, you take, you give, you take. So many people came in the room yesterday and didn't want to scan. I had, out of 40 people, 2 people didn't scan. And when they saw that we put the names in the basket, they wanted to give us their name. And I said, no, because the object to that learning that is that if you would have, when you came in the door, scanned the QR code, put your name in it, I shouldn't have to tell you I'm giving you something away for you now to want to do it. That's business 101. Any room you walk in, know that you belong in that room, and don't be afraid to share your information with somebody, because you just don't know if that person will reach back out to you and bless you or pay it forward. So that's why I'm asking you guys who stuck with us to the end of this presentation, scan the barcode, put your name, your email, phone number, information, and I will have Michelle pick the person who will get the free 5-page website. So I'll leave it up on the screen so people can have time to scan. And I can see right now if people are scanning and putting their stuff in. It'll come to me immediately.
See, that's a great offer right there, Nakia. That is an excellent offer. You guys better take advantage of this. Let me tell y'all something. I want to thank Nakia for coming and being with us and spending this time with us today. Boy, girl, you have been fire. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not a techie person, but I was learning some things. I'm up here taking a little bit of notes and stuff. And she's serious about that free headshot. That free headshot stuff, when you go, you better take advantage of those things. That can become part of the tools in your toolbox. You know, when you need some help with some things, you know, you'd be like, oh, I got a good one, right? Because she's right. Some headshots don't look cool. I'm just telling y'all, I've seen a few of them. They don't look too good. But Nakia, I want to thank you though. You have really given some great information. You guys better take advantage of her. Reach out, make your appointments, meet with her, because when she's talking about your digital footprint, you need it to be good. We are in times where your business got to be on point, okay? On point. And we really want to make sure that we bring you people like her to help with your business, right? What it looks like, what does your brand look like, the developments and stuff, right? This is why we have people like Nakia here with us today. So I want to thank her. I want to thank my team, my small business program teams in the background, taking all of the glory, but from the background. Michael, thank you for leading us today. I really appreciate it. Shanae, thank you so very much. I have such an awesome team. I'm telling y'all, Marlo, Michael, Shanae, Hannah, Heather, Sierra, and we have a new person, Alicia. We are just putting our team together to make sure we're bringing you people like Nakia who can help you with your business brand, and making sure that people click on your websites. I hope you were able to learn some important information to help your business grow. And of course, we always look forward to you for our next outreach and everything. So just let me tell you, we have next year, we're right in the middle of planning a procurement fair with our procurement people here at WMATA. So we're working on that. We'll also have some good training, business stuff that's going to, help you. So, take advantage of looking at the save the date and everything for our procurement fair for next year. And I cannot thank Nakia enough. You guys better jump on this. This is awesome. Nakia, I'm going to invite you back. I'm going to invite you back, girl.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to come back.
I'm telling you, I have to invite you back, because this right here, girl, I can't look. I'm all excited myself, like I got my own business. I'm telling you, this is really good. So again, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Nakia. Thank you, my team. And we'll see you guys next year. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.